G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another episode of Wasteland Survival. So last week's episode was relatively, I wouldn't say boring, but we didn't really do too much. Basically just got ourselves a little bit of uranium, also a little bit of platinum, and then while I was at it, I ended up salvaging that fighter that we found all the way back in, I think it was like episode 22 to 24. I can't remember exactly which one, but yeah, so I need to do a little bit of work to that ship out there and basically finish that up. But at the end of the episode, there was another thing that I kind of mentioned that I wanted to do. So now that we have a little bit more firepower behind us, I kind of wanted to check out a few more things in space that we didn't really have an opportunity to do with the Pilgrim. Mainly because that thing really only has small interior turrets, and they're not really that powerful, and since Keen Software have nerfed the range all the way from 800 meters down to 400 meters, the guns weren't really as effective as what they used to be. So what I thought was that the GPS marker, which was the encounter mining outpost, was the outpost where, you know, that was spawning drones against us all the way back in episode 24 when we went ahead and we salvaged this Corvette. But in actual fact, it was when we were near the Corvette that I think it was a drone factory that was nearby that was spawning drones against us. So what I'm going to do, I've actually grabbed the GPS coordinates all the way back from that episode, because what I tend to do is I tend to make an individual save for every single episode, just so that, you know, if I make a mistake or my computer doesn't behave properly, I can always go back to the start and, you know, re-record stuff. Although, as much as possible, if things happen, I try not to, like, kind of cheat and get around them by, you know, reloading the save. So, you know, if I make mistakes, then I will own those mistakes. But it's definitely handy for things like this where I want to know, you know, a previous GPS location that I've, you know, since deleted. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go check that out. So let's go ahead and do that. Although, the only issue is with using this ship and traveling through space is that the thrusters are so loud that you can barely hear what I'm saying when they're on. So I'll try to talk a little bit louder. So anyway guys, I will see you once we get to our destination, and we will see if that outpost that was spawning drones at us is actually still there. Alright guys, well, we're finally at the wreck. I don't really want to get any closer, mainly because I think my guns will fire on it, and then also I think the guns for that ship will start firing on me, yeah, and there you go. So, and it looks like he's actually firing a little bit of... Hey, was that my missiles hitting my own Gatling turrets? I actually think it was. Luckily, I have enabled in the settings friendly damage for missile turrets. I've turned that off, so that shouldn't be too big of an issue. Alright, let's back up a little bit. Now, I think that outpost was over on this asteroid here, although I'm not 100% certain. So, what I'll do is I'll kind of burn towards this without getting too close to that Corvette, because I don't want it to shoot at me, and I don't really want to shoot at it, even though I guess it doesn't matter because I've salvaged everything that I want to from that ship. But, oh well. Oh, goodbye Corvette. Well, I guess there's nothing really worth salvaging now. Yeah, so I can't remember exactly which asteroid it was on. I'm pretty sure it was this one here, but yeah, I can't 110% remember. Although I would have thought that it kind of would have popped up on my GPS by now. So yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. But let's get closer to this asteroid and let's see what we can find. Alrighty guys, well, we finally reached the asteroid. Unfortunately, it looks like whatever was here has kind of despawned. Now there is another SBRT signal over in that direction over there, and I'm Kind of hoping it will flash up on the HUD momentarily, but I guess we'll wait and see what happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and check that one out first and see if we can't find ourselves a little bit of hydrogen. And then from there, I think if we can't, I might actually travel all the way to Europa and make a start on a fuel depot, I would say. I could... Yeah, so there you can see it over there. So let's try and aim for those stars, if I can remember what they look like. Let's have a look here. I think it was over in this direction. Yeah, so I could use an asteroid to make like a fuel depot, but I just think Europa is a much better location. The only issue with doing a fuel depot on Europa is that the atmosphere is relatively small. So what could potentially happen is that a Reaver could spawn very close to... Well, that's interesting. I wonder if the Reaver is actually attacking that that Corvette wreck. That is very interesting. Well, I can't see anything from here, so maybe he is. Anyway, yeah, so the atmosphere is very thin on Europa, so if any Reavers tend to spawn, then they're probably going to be very, very close to... Ooh, we have some drones. Alright, so maybe what this is a pirate station. Interesting. Alright. Yeah. So, as I was saying, I've tried to say this about 5 times, but anyway, the atmosphere is very small, so when a Reaver spawns, it's going to be very close to whatever we're going to build. So it's probably not the greatest place to build a fuel depot, and maybe what we'll have to do is go fully underground with that. The only thing is that if we get caught off guard with this ship sitting on the surface of Europa, then we're either going to have to make a very quick escape, or we're going to have to kind of let the ship try to defend itself and pray that one of those first-class makers. Interesting. What's that? Oh, it's a private sail. Yeah, so we've got to kind of pray that these guys don't destroy the ship and it has enough firepower to kind of fend them off. But anyway, guys, I will see you in a second once we get to our destination, which is whatever this SPRT signal is. Although it seems to have disappeared now, so maybe that was what we just kind of passed behind us. I think it might have been actually, because it was about 6.26 kilometers. So yeah, if not, then I'll see you guys in a second. Well, guys, I think that last thing that we were shooting at was the SPRT signal that we were trying to get to. So yeah, I think that doesn't exist anymore, so I found another one and we're going to head towards that one, which is basically this one in front of us, and hopefully we can find ourselves something interesting. I believe we are about 5 kilometers from this thing. Whoa, no, we're only about 2 kilometers. So but it looks relatively large, so maybe this is going to be quite an interesting one. I do really want to check out a few more things before I go to Europa. So yeah, this is in fact, let's stop the ship and let's have a look through one of the gun turrets and see if we can't see anything interesting here. So we'll have a look at our interior turret. Let's control that. Let's look straight ahead and see what we have here. Interesting. So that seems to be a fairly different ship to any of the others that I've seen. Looks like it has 2 Gatling turrets on it. Alright, so, whoops, wrong button. I always do that for some reason. So, let me just turn off the weapon systems here. So, I'll turn off the guns and I'll turn off the missiles. And we'll try and get as close as we can to this. So it looks like we're 1.89 kilometers away, which isn't too bad. But obviously if we get within 800 meters, then that thing's going to shoot at us. Maybe what I can do in the meantime is build myself a missile launcher. Although, let's have a look and see if we can do that. So, I want block tools. I want one of these missile launchers. And I want some missiles. Beautiful. Alright, so looks like we have the materials for that, which is great. And that means that we can defend ourselves against any turrets that are on this thing. Alright, so I think we're probably about close enough. I probably don't want to get any closer than this. So what I'll do is I'll create a GPS marker here, and we'll just call this the Atlas because I am forever losing the ship. And then also what I need to do is, I've kind of noticed, and you probably noticed this as well, but at the front you can see the antenna for the... It's a very weird way to spell shuttle, but yeah. Antenna shuttle proxy. I'm not sure what that word is, but it's not shuttle. So yeah, I need to find that, and I need to turn that off as well. Antenna shuttle proxy. Alright, let's turn these off. Okay, cool. So that means that if any Reavers spawn, then we should hopefully not have any problems. Now, the thing is, I need to find a cargo port so that I can go and retrieve my missile launcher that I just built. So let's go to the connector outside here. Let's find our rocket launcher. I think it's called a Pro 10 or a Pro 1. Let's put that in our inventory. I'll get rid of my tools because I don't want to lose them in case I die. I'll keep the gun, although do I have any ammunition for that? So let's have a look for a magazine. So I've got, looks like 2 clips here. I don't know if that's going to work. That's alright. We'll test it out and we'll see how we go. Hopefully with all those missile launchers, or with the missiles, that'll be enough. So let me get rid of this off the hotbar. Actually no, let's go to hotbar number 9. Yeah, there we go. So let's equip the rocket launcher. And is it going to load up? Oh yep, I think it's loaded up. That's a very strange angle. Wait, is this thing shooting at me? No. Not yet, at least. So... oh, yep. Now it's definitely shooting at me. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, no. Alright, so I'll try and do a little bit of a strafing run. So we'll head towards it and then we'll launch a missile. And hopefully that will hit the turret. And I think it has, although I'm not 100% sure. Alright, let's back off a little bit. Alright, let's go in for another strafing run. Let's go straight towards it, launch a missile. And let's hope that one connects. Well, nah, seems like I didn't take out the top turret, but I think I've definitely taken out the bottom one. Alright, let's try this one more time. So let's go in a little bit more aggressive this time. Hopefully that one connects. Dropped by 8. Fantastic. Alright, so I think we've taken down the majority of the defenses on this thing. Although there could be another turret on the other side, which I haven't seen yet. So, what do we have here? Let's grab my rifle out, because I don't really need my missile launcher. Now the question is, does this thing have any hydrogen tanks? That's what I really want to know. So that looks like... in fact, I think this might be the same ship that we've seen... oh, awesome! It looks like there's 2 hydrogen tanks ready to go. And it looks like the center of the ship is actually connected via a connector. That's pretty cool. Now the question is, are there any more turrets? Because I really don't want to deal with any more turrets. Although I guess if we have to, we have to, you know, so it's not a massive deal. Whoop, there's a turret there. That looks like it's blown up. The turret on the bottom, I'm pretty sure that's dead as well. Oh, wait, no, sorry. That was the turret on the bottom. My mistake. Alright. This is actually a pretty cool ship design. I love checking these things out and seeing what they're like. I think it's really cool seeing all these interesting designs that I've never seen before. Now, how am I going to get rid of this? Alright, I think what I'll do is I'll enter through this hole in the side of the ship. And let's try and check this out and see what we can see. So that just looks like the opposite, well, the other side of that door that I was just at. So it looks like that is the extent of this interior. Alright, cool. So I think now that the defenses are down here, what I can do from here is we can go and we can grind down this block here. Now, what does this button panel do? I might actually... So, merge block, turn on and off. Connector, switch lock. Interesting. So, where's the Atlas? Where did I park the Atlas? Alright, let's go grab the Atlas. We'll get this a little bit closer. And what I'll do is I will lock the back of this ship to that connector on the rear, and then we'll kind of pull the back half of that ship away. So let's see how we go with this. And I think that's pretty close. How are we looking on this side? I can't really see anything. Alright, let's jump out and let's go have a look. I have a feeling that this connector on the back of the ship that we're about to salvage is actually damaged. So... yeah... I think it is actually damaged, because if it wasn't, it would probably connect by now. Or maybe it doesn't have any power. Alright, let me grab my welder. And... I have no connectors that I can access, except for the one on the bottom. So let's grab the welder and let's try and fix this thing up. Okay, finally retrieved my welder after searching for a little bit. Seems like this connector is actually on. This connector is on as well. Maybe what I need to do is actually grind that down. Ah, there we go. Yep, okay, cool. So now what I should be able to do is lock that. So let's go ahead and let's do that. So, jump in the cockpit, and which connector is... So it's that one there at the rear. Alright, let's jump out again. Let's go and grind down that button panel. And then from there I should be able to get rid of the merge block, turn off the connector, and then pull the rear half of this ship away. I suppose I could just grind it, but hey, you know what? We may as well try and grab it in another fashion, I suppose. Ah! Magnetized boots, please. Thank you. Alright, let's grind this down to past the hack line. Let's weld it back up. Let's turn that off. Activation failed. Fine. Fine. I will grind you then. There we go. And let's get rid of that one there as well. Now, the question is this a ship or is this a station? And it looks like these are only half full by the looks of it. Access denied. We have a hydrogen engine. I wonder if there's any ice in here. Let's have a look and see what we have in this ship. Not very much. So we got 14 ammo containers, which is, yeah, not that great to be honest. In fact, what happens if I grind this down and then weld it up? What's in here? Nothing. The O2H2 generator. Let's grind that, see what's inside. Nothing again. Yeah, I don't think there's really going to be too much in this that we can kind of salvage. Now the question is this a station or is it a... Yeah, I don't really know. So, in order to figure that out, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to repair that. So let's just dump all of the components that I have on myself, and let's withdraw what we need to get this thing built, and hopefully I have that on hand. Cannot withdraw 52 large steel tubes. You have successfully captured static grid. Now, I think from this control panel, I should be able to turn this into a ship. So, yeah, so it looks like it was a static grid, which is not that great. Now, the question is, where is all this hydrogen going? Let's have a look here. Hydrogen tank filled to 50%. Looks like the fuel is being slowly wasted on something. That's strange. I wonder where the fuel is actually going. That's alright, it doesn't really matter, because what I can do is we can go through the door at the bottom of the Atlas. We can jump in here, and then what I'm going to do from here is I am going to set the tanks to stockpile, and then the hydrogen should move from those two large tanks into these tanks, and you can see that's exactly what's happening. So I wonder exactly how much fuel we'll get. 1.8%. Not a great deal, so yeah. I suppose it was kind of worthwhile, it kind of wasn't, but hey, you know, I guess it is interesting to check out new things in the game, so at least from that front, I think we have a successful mission here. The only thing is there anything else that I can kind of salvage from this thing? So we've got an oxygen tank. Oxygen is pretty easy to come by, I don't really need any of that. We do have a few superconductors inside this gravity generator, so maybe I'll grab that, because, I mean, why not? Or, sorry, I should say gravity components. So, yeah, maybe we'll just grab that, and then after that we'll kind of, yeah, be done with this wreck. Maybe what we can do is we can kind of use it for target practice, but I don't know, maybe not. Probably seems like a bit of a waste of ammunition at this point. Alright. Cool. Well, I think I've grabbed everything that I want to from this wreck. So, now, what we need to do is find something else to do. Alright guys, welcome back. Well, so I was messing around, just trying to find another signal to kind of check out, but it appears that I have some Reavers after me. So, what we're going to have to do here is enable our guns. So we'll turn those on. Actually, no. We'll turn those on, and then we'll turn our missile launchers on as well. The only problem is that it's going to fire at that ship first before it actually fires at this Reaver. So, alright, now that we've moved a little bit out of the way of that wreck there, then we should hopefully be able to engage this guy. So, although it looks like he's attacking the wreck that we just left. Looks like we made short work of that guy. And I guess we might as well blow this one up as well. Looks like that's debris from the wreck, or from the Reaver ship. Yeah, so that wasn't really a massive Reaver, and I don't think we got any damage whatsoever from that guy. So, alright, now I'm going to continue searching for another wreck that we can go and check out. Now, Righteous Conglomerate, a mining carriage. I don't know if I really want to go after ships that are floating around in space, like flying, because I know a lot of those actually have quite a massive number of defenses and they have a whole bunch of booby traps. What I do really want to find ideally is another wreck, much like the ones that we've already explored, although I have seen one in my previous saves that is quite a bit larger than the rest of them, and the ship is probably about 2/3 the size of the Atlas, but as yet I haven't been able to find one, so that's something I really would like to find. I could go ahead and we could go to Europa and we could build ourselves a fuel depot, but I don't know if I really want to do that just yet, because what I have planned for a fuel depot is pretty intense, or it's fairly extensive, I should say. So I don't really want to build something like that without having the base back at Pertam actually finished yet. Because, you know, there's quite a few other things that I want to kind of get done on that base. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to float around for a little while and see if I can't find any other signals that we can check out. And then from there, you know, we can kind of, yeah, just try and salvage something else, you know, something new, something that we haven't encountered before, because I really want to salvage like a big wreck with a whole bunch of large hydrogen tanks. Then we can kind of get some fuel, because, you know, it's a little bit more exciting than actually mining the stuff from an asteroid or doing something like that. So, alright guys, I'll see you in a second once I've actually found something that we can explore. Alright guys, welcome back. So basically I've been flying around for a little while, maybe about 10 or 15 minutes. We've come across an IDR private sail. I think maybe we'd come across that before, or maybe that was the mining ship. Also, there is another wreck to go ahead and check out, and I think that is over near the asteroid Uranium-2. But I thought while I was traveling in between where I was before and trying to find the next wreck to check out, I've actually come across this little asteroid field that seems to contain asteroids that are made entirely of ice. Now, I've been playing this game a long time, and I know people mentioned to me in the comments that these asteroids do exist, but this is actually the first time I think I've ever seen them. So yeah, you can see the SPRT Mayday is down there. So yeah, let's jump out of the ship here and let's go ahead and check this out. I'm pretty sure that this entire asteroid is made up of ice, and if it is, then maybe this is where we can set up our, yeah, I mean, look at this. That's unreal. This entire thing is made of ice. I didn't even know that these things existed, because I'd never actually seen one myself. Until somebody mentioned it to me in the comments, I had no idea that asteroids like this actually ever existed. So, you know what? I think we are going to build like a little bit of a mining outpost on this asteroid, and yeah, we'll get ourselves a whole bunch of ice. So the question is, where do we start? Because I mean, you know, I might as well get myself a whole bunch of ice to fully fill the tanks on the Atlas, because I guess, you know, why not? It wouldn't hurt, would it? So alright, let's attach ourselves to this asteroid here. Actually, let's go over and have a look at this one over here. So I'm just going to glide over to this asteroid, because, and to do that I'm just going to turn off my inertial dampeners, because I don't think I have too much hydrogen left. So let's check this one out, because that one that we were just at seems to be a little bit hollow, so maybe that might not be the best asteroid to go and try and mine. Yeah, so this one here looks like it's completely solid, so I think this might be the one that we want to actually go ahead and mine. Now the question is, where is the ship? Oh, there it is, it's over there. Almost lost the thing again. Man, I'm so bad at that. Yeah, this still blows my mind. I've never seen an asteroid like this before. So what I'll do here is we will touch down on this asteroid and we'll create a GPS marker, and we will call this asteroid, I might just call it the ice field, because it's a field of ice asteroids. Hang on. Did I actually change the name of the other one? No, I think I created one, but I didn't actually adjust the name of that. No, that's alright. New from current position. Let's name it that. Awesome. And then we'll just show that on HUD. So I think what I'll do is I'll build as much as I can until I run out of materials, and then when we run out of materials, then we'll kind of go off and we will find whatever materials that we need to get this thing built, and then we can go from there. Now, where is that asteroid that I parked the ship next to? I've lost the ship once again. Hang on. Where is it? Is it that asteroid? Oh, there it is. There's the Atlas. Alright, so let's go and grab the Atlas, and we will move it over to this asteroid here. And then we can make a start on building a kind of like a mining rig. And I want to kind of automate this process, but we'll see how we go. So let's go ahead and let's move the ship over to that asteroid. Alright, well, I finally reached the asteroid, so I think now what I want to do is find a location, or find the side of this asteroid that is kind of the flattest and the widest, so that we have kind of the biggest area to create this kind of this drilling rig. So in fact, this asteroid does look to be somewhat hollow, although not as much as the other one, so I think this should still be okay, and it should still work out for us. So the Atlas is over there. Now maybe what I'll do is I'll try and place this thing in the sunlight so that we can see what we're doing as well. So maybe I can place it on this side, and then we can kind of drill straight down here. So maybe what I'll do is I'll build an arm that goes out here and an arm that goes out that way. And then from there we'll have like a conveyor system that goes back to a cargo container. And then from there we'll have a whole array of O2 H2 generators. Or maybe we can just mine the ice and just put it straight into the Atlas, and let the O2 H2 generators on that actually go ham on the ice, and then we can fully fill the ship. I'm not exactly sure. So I think what we'll do is, yeah, I think I am going to choose this side. It's not extremely flat. I guess no side of this asteroid is completely flat, so yeah, we'll just kind of have to work around the terrain. I think maybe I'll create something there. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to move the Atlas around, and then I'm probably going to park the landing gear at the front onto this like little asteroid piece, and then park the butt of the ship like close to where I've created that GPS marker, so that I don't have to travel too far with my jetpack to actually retrieve materials from the ship and actually get this thing built. And interestingly enough, in one of the last episodes, I think it was the last episode, I commented and I said I wasn't sure why my landing gears were saying that I was connected to something, or not connected, or not locked, when I in fact actually was locked. So, but somebody pointed out in the comments the reason for that is because like less than 30% of the landing gears were actually locked down onto the asteroid. So that is why that was happening. So yeah, thanks for that. That was yeah, I didn't know that. And it's always nice reading these comments and learning new things. I mean, because hopefully you guys learn a few things by watching these videos, but it's always cool when I learn new things from you guys. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the best things. Alright, so let's park it here. In fact, you know what? I changed my mind. I might actually build the drill rig right on top there. Because I guess we don't really need it to be very wide. We just kind of need it to be able to go quite deep. So as long as it can do that, I think we should be able to get all the ice we will ever need. Now the question is, can I lock that down? Yep, it's yellow, so I think we can lock that down. Awesome, so it's locked. I'll turn the thrusters off, and then we will get started with actually building this this mining rig. Now, I actually wonder, how are the refineries going with all of this uranium and platinum that we picked up in the last episode? I think they're actually still going. Or, I should say, the refinery, because there's only one on this ship. So let's check it out and see how it's actually going. Can I access a port for that? No. Where's the control panel? Alright, let's have a look in here. So, let's go to... Yep, I can't actually do it through that one. Alright, let's do it through here. So, let's go into inventory. Let's have a look in our refinery. Yeah, so I've still got 1.96k of uranium to go. Actually, how much uranium ingots did we actually get? So let's have a look at the large reactor. And so we've got 309 in there, and we've got 200 ingots. So we really didn't get that many ingots for what we mined, but that's alright. I'm not really too concerned about that. I think like I said, I don't think we're using so much uranium that we really need a massive amount. And you can see here that the reactor is barely even using any of this. And I think it is actually still on. Let's see what the large reactor is actually doing. So yeah, the current output is only 2.39 megawatts. So yeah, we're not really using a whole bunch of power, so I think we should be alright. Another Reaver is on its way. Damn. Alright, let's go check this guy out. Man, it seems to be Reaver Central out here. They just, they keep on coming. You think they'd learn, but apparently they don't. So, hang on. This guy looks like he's flying directly towards us. Alright, let's control one of the turrets on the bottom. So, port, no. I want a starboard interior turret. Let's control that one, and let's check this guy out and see if we can see anything. Yeah, it looks like a fairly decently sized ship. So, whoops, I pressed that button again. I always press escape to get out of it, not realizing that that's actually the pause menu as well. Alright, so I'll wait for this guy to get a little bit closer, and we might have to move the ship and kind of defend ourselves, I should say. So, yeah, alright, I'll see you guys in a second. Alright guys, well, it looks like this guy is definitely going to come towards us. So what I'm going to try and do here is tilt the front of the ship down so that my guns can get a decent angle on this guy, and then we'll kind of tuck behind this little asteroid here and see if it can offer us some sort of protection. Although maybe what I'm going to have to do here is turn off my is there anything behind me? No. Alright, cool. Anything above me? No. Alright, so I'm going to try and put this asteroid between me and him, and hopefully he can't get a decent angle on us. So this is kind of going to be the only problem with... Oh, this is bad. This is the only problem with trying to mine, you know, where we were trying to mine, is we're going to have to deal with this sort of thing all the time. And yeah, this is also going to be one of the same issues I'm going to run into when it comes to creating an asteroid base on, or a mining post on Europa, is we're going to have to kind of deal with this thing all the time. So not really too keen to deal with that. And yeah, he's doing a fair bit of damage to us. Oh, this is painful. There goes my salvage ship. We got a fair bit of damage happening here. Get a little bit closer to this guy and I'm just going to finish him off. I'm not exactly sure how far away from us he really is. Yeah, so... Well, that does not sound good. So as I was trying to say before, this is one of the main issues with creating a mining outpost in the middle of space is we're going to have these guys constantly harass us, and we're going to have to build something with a fairly large amount of defenses. So, as you can see, he's doing just massive amounts of damage to us. Alright, so it looks like my guns are... Oh no, he is still firing on us. Goes the ship that was on the top. Oh, at least that's kind of drawing some of his fire. I think I'm actually out of missiles at this point because I don't notice them actually firing at anything, so... I love this bullet tracers mod. It's insane. Alright, let's turn the turrets off and see if he's actually still firing at us. Yeah, I don't think he is, but stuff it. I'm gonna continue firing at him. I want this guy dead. Dead as dead can be. I think after this I'm going to have to manufacture some more ammunition, and in fact I think that is what I'm going to do right now. So let's try and build 1,000 of those, although I don't think we have the resources for that, so let's maybe build another 600 boxes. Alright, maybe we have enough resources to do that. Actually I think I've got to use the starboard assembler to do this. So let's build like another 400 boxes and see how we go with that. Yeah, it was quite unfortunate. We lost a ship that we salvaged, but it was worth a shot, I guess. Alright, I think this guy's had enough. Alright, so let's turn the turrets off. Let me exit the cockpit and let's go and check this out. So, I think I should still have my missile launcher on me, but let me just check that that is the case. Yep, awesome. Alright, I do. So, let's go ahead and check this wreck out. Well, I guess it's a wreck now, isn't it? So... Whoa, 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 whoa! He's definitely still got some guns. Alright, yep, no. Alright, well, I guess while we're out here, let's... Whoa! Whoa! Oh, no. Alright, I need to go back inside and turn the guns back on because he's firing on my ship again. Alright, let's get back into the cockpit. Come on! Turn the guns back on. Take that. Yeah, so it turns out that was actually a pretty big ship. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have taken this guy on, but oh well. And you know what? It's at about this point in time that I actually really want to create or build some rotor turrets, because I think that would be really helpful at this point. Let's move in just a little bit closer so the guns have a bit more to fire at. I can't believe this guy's still around. The amount of shells he's been taking, it's insane. Let's see how this production is going. It isn't. Are these assemblers even turned on? No, they're not. That's why nothing is happening. Alright, so let's build a whole bunch of these ammo containers, because I think we are definitely going to need it. And in fact, what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to build a whole bunch of missiles as well. So let's try and build maybe 10 containers, maybe 20. I'll see if I can actually build those. And then hopefully I'll start launching missiles at him. Yeah, there we go. So I think that helps out quite a bit. But yeah, as I said, I'm surprised that this guy is still alive. Like the amount of damage he's been... Oh, that was awesome. Oh. Alright, let's see if we can't control one of the interior turrets on the front. So starboard interior turret 1, we'll control that. That's the one that's damaged. Wow. Half of that ship is just gone. Look at the bullet traces. This is insane. It's so cool. So surely at this point I would have actually destroyed enough of this ship where I can kind of approach it. Alright, let's exit the control, let's turn the turrets back off, and now let's go have a look at this thing again and see if it has any turrets remaining that can actually shoot at me. So let's go ahead and just check this out. So far, so good. I might try and approach it from different angles and see if any turrets are actually still alive that can shoot at me. And so far, so good. Let's go towards the rear. If I die, it's not really a big deal because I can just kind of respawn on the Atlas. So I don't think that's a major issue. But I think we have actually taken out all of the turrets on this thing. Let me just go to the top and just confirm that. Yeah. So I think we've actually taken out all of the turrets. Fantastic. Now the question is, are there any hydrogen tanks left that we can kind of salvage from? I have a feeling that they're all kind of destroyed at this point. So, are my lights on? No, they're not. Let's turn those on and let's check this out. Yeah, so I don't think there's really too much here that we can actually salvage, I guess when you're being fired upon like that, you're kind of not really too concerned about salvaging. So yeah, I think we did okay from this. Now let's see if this thing actually has any hydrogen on it. I mean, any uranium, I should say.
Inventory full. Inventory full.
What is behind door number 1? A door that leads into space because the rest of the ship is blown up. Oh, yeah, there was a few bodies lying around. Alright, well, I guess, you know, maybe what we can do is we can actually get some uranium from this thing, so
Inventory full.
let's repair this reactor here. What do I need for this? I need metal grids. What has metal grids? Hydrogen thrusters have metal grids. Actually, I'm going to get rid of this ice that I've got on my inventory because I don't need it. So let's get rid of that. Let's grind this down. Let's maybe grind this one down as well. And then this one. I don't know if these really have many metal grids, but hopefully they'll have enough. Let's see if we can't fix this. No, I need reactor components. The thing is, though, I'm not exactly sure if there is actually any uranium in this ship. So we've got 40... Oh, actually, yeah, no, there is. So we've got 45 there. And let's go across to this side. And let's see if we have any uranium in here. I can't access that, so I really don't know. So I'm missing reactor components. Missing reactor components from that. Yeah. And I don't think I have that many reactor components on me. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to repair these reactors to be able to grab all the uranium from them. So... And I don't even think I have any gravel where I can kind of get... or I can kind of build it, so... There is that as well. I suppose what I could do is I could grind down some of my reactors. In fact, I wonder if I grind the thing down... here we go. Yeah, so if I just grind it down, then I can just basically grab the hydrogen as I please. I mean, not the hydrogen, the uranium. So maybe that's what I'll do instead. I'll just kind of grind down the reactors until I can... And then just retrieve the hydrogen, or I keep saying hydrogen, the uranium as it just floats free from the reactor. So let's grab that. Get rid of the steel plates, get rid of that. Let's try and pick up some more. The good thing about uranium is that it actually isn't that big, so I should be able to get a little bit of it from this wreck.
Inventory full.
What can I get rid of? The scraps. I don't need them.
Inventory full.
I do have reactor components on me which I don't really need, so I guess we could get rid of those as well. Although maybe what I could do is I could use them to repair this reactor here. Actually, you know what? Let's just get rid of them because I don't need them.
Inventory full.
Right, so we've got... I have to get rid of all this stuff every time. You know what? We got more uranium from this ship than we actually did ever mining any of it, so that's pretty cool. Let's get rid of these again. Them, and them. And let's pick those up. And... Are there any more reactors on this thing? There must be one under here because I can see a green glow. So let's grind this one down as well. Let's dump all of the excess components out. Maybe what I'll do, in fact, is I'll actually bring the ship closer and we can kind of... Yeah, grind this thing down so we can get ourselves a whole bunch of components as well, because... I'm kind of just wasting all of this stuff, and we might actually be able to use some of this stuff to build the mining outpost that I was planning to build. Although I got to admit, at this point, I'm kind of having second thoughts as to if I even want to bother building the thing in the first place, because of the fact that if another Reaver like this comes along, then I'm not really going to be able to build too many guns on this mining outpost to sort of protect it from any Reavers, especially ones of this size. And I need to keep a sharp eye out for any other Reavers that want to come and attack us as well. So I think that is the last reactor. Oh, actually, I can see a green glow here. Or can I? No. I thought I saw a green glow there. But no, I think that is all of the reactors on this ship. What's that? A military escort. Yeah, I don't really want to deal with that right now. Do I come back and I grind all this stuff down and put it into the Atlas? I could just mine a lot of it, but I don't know if I really want to. Decisions. Alright, let's grab the Atlas. In fact, actually, what I am going to do is I'm going to grab a whole bunch of steel plates from this thing. Since this thing done a lot of damage to me, I think it might be worthwhile grinding away. Okay then. Might be worthwhile grinding away a lot of these blocks and grabbing the steel plates from that to repair my own ship. So I can grind down the enemy ship to repair my own ship. I reckon that sounds pretty good. Although what's going to happen though is we're going to pick up a whole bunch of scrap metal, since a lot of this stuff is heavily damaged. But yeah, we did a number on this ship, that's for sure. There is not much of it left. Alright, so let's grab those steel plates, Let's grind these bits down. There should be a whole bunch in there as well. Let's get rid of that.
Inventory full.
Alright, so we got 273 steel plates. It's not too bad, it's not great. But it's not too bad, I guess. Alright, so let's go and assess the damage to my ship. Obviously, the ship that was on the front is long gone now, and as you can see, there is a fair bit of damage to the top of my ship. Strangely enough though, the connector is still good, and most of the guns are still good. So I think what we got to do is just basically repair all of this, and then we should be pretty good to go. So yeah, I think this is going to take me a little while to repair, so I'll probably do this off camera, and once I've repaired this, then after that I think we can go and we can salvage some more stuff off of that wreck, and then we can use the components for that to build a build a mining rig on that ice asteroid, and then from there we can get ourselves a whole bunch of fuel.
Energy critical.
Alright guys, well I'll see you in a second once I've done a massive amount of repairs. Alright guys, welcome back. So I actually didn't get too far and I didn't repair too much of the ship because my graphics driver decided to crash. So I am, however, extremely grateful that it did not decide to crash whilst we were battling this guy, because that would have meant about 20 minutes worth of recording out the window. And this kind of further reiterates my point at the beginning of the episode as to why I create multiple different saves, because this type of thing seems to happen quite a lot. I mean, for example, there was one episode where I had recorded at least an hour's worth of footage, done the entire episode, went to edit it, and then realized that my microphone wasn't recording the entire time. So I then had to re-record the entire episode. So yeah, that's kind of why I do that. But anyway, we've kind of run out of time for this episode, so I'm just going to end the episode here. And as you can see, I've moved the Atlas closer to this Reaver ship so that we can basically grab all the steel plates out of the wrecked Reaver ship to then repair my own ship. So yeah, I think that's a little bit ironic, I would say. But just before we go, there were a few comments on the last video as to what mods I was using, and there has been a few comments as to what mods I've been using throughout the series, I would say. So just before we go, what I'll do is I'll go into the settings and then we'll check out what mods I use and all the settings that I use as well. Okay, well here we are in the mod menu, and as you can see, I have a fair few mods on the left here that I don't use. You know, I've got air traffic, build vision, build info, color replacer blocks. That was one that I wanted to kind of mess around with. I've got Dr. Vanilla voxels. I haven't actually used those ones yet. I've got the Cult Command Console pack, which I don't really use. Got the Rich HUD Master, the Text HUD API, and I think this one, this one, this one, and this one are all kind of joined together. And I've also got the MCRN PDC cannon turrets, but I never ended up enabling that one. And then obviously, as you can see, I've got Space Just Got Real. And that's kind of the mod that makes the game look really nice, makes the dark look really dark. Instead of the game always being kind of like daylight no matter where you are. You know, if you're on the opposite side of an asteroid and it's dark, then it's really dark and you can't see what you're doing. So that's what that mod does. I believe this one is kind of built into this mod, and this basically takes away the glare from LCDs and lights and all that sort of stuff when you enable this mod. So and then obviously we have the modular encounters systems. We've got easy NPC takeovers, and this is basically so that I don't need to grind down and take ownership of every single little block on a ship to take it over. I only really need to do certain blocks. I can't really tell you what they are, but yeah, I mean, you guys are more than welcome to look up that mod. Also, I've got the Sneaky Sounds Quieter Tools. I believe this mod is made by Splitsy, so and this also makes the weather a lot quieter, so you guys can actually hear what I'm saying when I actually have the grinder or the welder going, or there's weather there. Unfortunately, one thing I would like to see added to this mod is maybe the hydrogen engines, because as you guys know, it is quite loud. Obviously we've got the UFOL's bullet trails, the tracers, and I've got them in orange. They do come in different colors like blue, red, yellow, whatever color you want really, they come in that. So these are awesome. I really like the effects that these add to the game. I think these should honestly be built into the game because, yeah. And then obviously we've got no lightning damage. That was one that we added probably about halfway through the series because I was getting tired of that kind of damaging my base. And I've since figured out how lightning actually works, so maybe we'll revisit this one later on in the series and we'll turn that back on. Obviously we have the Reavers, we've got rival AI, and as you can see this is obsolete now because this has been included into the modular encounter systems, so we can go ahead and we can actually get rid of that. And then obviously we have the high range ore detectors. This mod here will allow the ore detectors to go up to 1.25 kilometers, but I don't really use this on planets because I think it's just a little bit, you know, kind of I wouldn't go as far as saying cheating, but it just makes it a little bit too easy. So whenever I'm back on the planet, I set the range down to the maximum of what they would be without this mod enabled. But this mod is especially handy for space because it means that you don't need to go all the way around the diameter of an asteroid to scan every single inch of its surface to find out exactly what is in it. So you just need to kind of fly past the asteroid, and yeah, so this mod is extremely handy for space. Another thing I'd like to point out with this mod is that if your CPU isn't the greatest, then what can happen is this mod can actually cause your game to glitch. So what will happen is every like 2 or 3 seconds or so, when the ore detectors refresh, it will actually pause the game for a moment, and then it will, you know, do that repeatedly every like 2 or 3 seconds. So yeah, there is that as well. So we'll exit out of that, and then we'll go into the advanced, which is the settings. As you can see, my character's inventory is ×5, blocks inventory size is realistic, assembler efficiency ×3. Most of these settings are pretty much stock, with I think with exception to this, normally I think this is set to ×3. You can set this to realistic to kind of, you know, make it a little bit more challenging. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it's set. I've got my view distance set to 20 kilometers. I might actually change that to 40 kilometers now that I've got the new graphics card. So you can tell that I haven't really been in here for a while. So the day duration is set to 3 hours. I'm sure many of you guys know that. I just like the longer day and night cycle. I think it's just a little bit, yeah, a little bit more, I don't know, I just prefer it. So yeah, that's just basically the way it is. Obviously we have our jetpack enabled. We've got voxel destruction. So I've got the weather enabled as well. I've got the economy enabled, even though I haven't really used it too much. I've disabled auto respawn because what this causes, when you disable this, when you die, you actually get a choice as to where you're going to respawn. So you can pick and choose whereabouts you're going to respawn. I haven't enabled spiders. I've enabled drones. And I think there was another one that I enabled. So there was one where the missiles can't damage a friendly grid, but I can't exactly see it in here. But yeah, I mean, that's basically all the settings I've got going on. So anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Wasteland Survival, and I hope to see you in the next episode of Wasteland Survival. Remember, if you like this content, then definitely consider leaving us a like, and consider subscribing so that you do not miss the next episode. Alright guys, I will see you next time.